Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you watching the live right now, and those of you who are watching the replay, what a day. Wow. An absolute emotional day. I must say so. Myself, I wanted to do a quick recap on the Charlie Kirk Memorial for everybody and have a general discussion, thoughts, what you felt surrounding the memorial today. We had some connection issues. I was live for it. We had some connection issues. I ended up having to end it right before Vance spoke. So I apologize for that. I realize I think I'm going to have to get a more powerful laptop in order to do stuff like that. So one will be on order, and we will make sure that stuff like that doesn't happen again. I know that Turning Point was having some connection issues, and I was also having connection issues. It was just I was trying to download and upload at the same time, and there was a lot going on. But anyways, I know a lot of you out there watched the memorial, and there was great speeches. Over 100,000 people showed up. I was kind of heartbroken. I was supposed to be there, just due to other things happening with my other company. I had to stay back in Canada, and that's okay. We still got to see the memorial, and maybe in the near future here, I'll head down to Arizona, and yeah, we'll go from there. But welcome into the live, guys. I really appreciate it. I just want to say a couple things. First and foremost, today really showed you how much support for free speech and the Christian values and conservative values and beliefs, how much support is actually out there. We're not alone, guys and gals. We are not alone. There are a lot of people out there who think like us. There's a lot of people out there who believe in the same things we do. And there's a lot of faith-minded individuals who are close to God, and there's a lot more faith-minded individuals that are even closer to God since Charlie Kirk's passing. And I said it at the beginning of the last live, and I want to call it as it is. I find myself saying passing instead of assassinated. And I don't know if I'm doing that for myself. I don't know if I'm doing that for me, just to maybe make myself feel better around it. But I need to start calling it for what it was. It was a political assassination. That's exactly what this was. So, if you ever see me, catch me, or anything saying that he's passed on, he was murdered. He was assassinated for free speech. We do know this, and we're never going to forget that. That's the key. I thought the speeches were absolutely amazing. The amount of people that showed up, absolutely amazing. And I was in tears a couple of times. I was turning my camera off. I didn't want you guys to see me cry. I'm a man. Maybe I got to deal with that stuff. I don't know. I'll figure that out in the future. I'm just being honest with all of you guys. But I want to get to the show-stopping moment, one that broke my heart, broke the world's heart, but I didn't know what to feel in that moment. Right, there was so much going on inside of me emotionally, and I know for you guys at home, that exact thing was going on as well. When Erica Kirk took the stage, and she showed us what it means to be a true Christian. She said, "I forgive the man who took my husband away," is basically what she was telling us. And, I got to thinking to myself, and I was angry. Ever since Charlie Kirk was assassinated, I've been angry. I've been upset. I've been hurt. But a lot of anger. I mean, a lot. Out of all the emotions, anger has been something that has risen in me in the past week and a bit. But she humbled me, by her saying what she said. It's one thing to forgive, but we'll never forget, right? And that's what I got out of it. Like, we know, those of you who have walked with God or believe in God, or maybe you're on the fence and you're somewhat a believer. We know that we're governed by a moral compass, and my moral compass is my Lord and Savior. That's what it is. Am I perfect? No. I've never once claimed to be a perfect individual. Could I be better? Absolutely, 100%. But there's something that I'm not, right? And the something that I'm not is, I'm not somebody, when somebody gets assassinated, that will go out and make memes about it, that will go out and cheer about it, that will go out and say hurtful, harmful things to the man's wife or their children, or wish ill upon them. That's not who I am. I'm not that man. I'm not that person. But then you have another side who is evil. They do not see what they have done. Forgive them, Father, for they not know what they've done. When Jesus was being crucified on the cross, I taught this to my daughter today because she asked me, and I don't push religion or spirit or beliefs on my kids. She asked me, right? She asked me, she said, dogs are losing their mind upstairs. But she asked me, I lost my train of thought there. 1 second. I gotta check my doorbell camera. Sorry, guys. It's a live stream. Who is this guy at my door? I don't know. This is my wife's talking to some guy here, so I apologize, guys. It's a break in the. I don't know what's going on there. Whatever. But at the end of the day, sorry, guys. We got to see behind the scenes action with Berta Proud. I always wonder when my dogs are going nuts about whatever. So basically how I explained that to my daughter was, when Jesus was on the cross being crucified, he looked down upon the people who were killing him, and he knew he was going to die, and he forgave them. Forgive them, Father, for they do not know what they've done. He was literally forgiving the people who were killing him. Right? And the thing is, like, that humbled me a bit. And I get it. A lot of you guys are angry, and we live in a society where we want to be angry. That's the best emotion. Look at me, the past 10 days. The easiest emotion for me to be the last 10, 11 days was to be fucking angry, was to be pissed off at the other side, was to be so angry. But the thing is, we already know they're evil. We already know they walk with the devil. These are the people that are telling children they're born in the wrong body. These are people who are performing surgical procedures on children to make them be a different gender, which will never change. We're supposed to all be perfect images of God, created in the best image of God. And these people are trying to play God to push their twisted, manipulative narrative. That's what they're trying to do. So you're going to get angry at people who, let's be honest, if you're convinced that you can change somebody from what God created them, Right now, your anger and your frustration is not going to change that person. They're still going to wake up tomorrow thinking that. They're evil. They're absolutely evil. But here's the thing. I pulled up this Bible verse, and it's a great Bible verse. There's a couple of them, actually. Ephesians 6:10. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. And that's what it is. They're schemes of the devil. When you see these people out there manipulating the narrative, did you notice after Charlie Kirk was assassinated how they cherry picked his statements, how they went and they cut up his videos to make him look bad? Right? It's crazy. Somebody's asking me, can you share the link for your merch? Absolutely. It's super easy to find my merch. Super easy. BertaProudDad.com. My merch is easy to find. Super easy. But that's the thing. When these people are scheming with the devil, they're evil. But the worst part is they think they're right. So when Erica Kirk came out today and she forgave him, that's her being a true Christian. Following the teachings of Jesus on the cross, saying, forgive them, Father, for they don't know what they've done. Now, Erica Kirk is not perfect. Charlie Kirk was not perfect. I'm not perfect. But I just spent the last 11 days being absolutely angry. I let them control my emotions. I let them dictate who I am. No more. No more. Because I don't need to be angry to expose the evil of the left. I don't need to be angry to say that sexualizing children is wrong. I don't need to be angry to expose individuals who are hateful and hurtful. The manipulators will call it doxing. I call it being held accountable for your actions. Call it what you want to call it. I don't care. I will put on the whole armor of God every single day. I will have integrity. I will push my content. I will tell the truth. I will be one with God, with my higher power. And that's not changing. And here's the thing. A lot of you guys have probably seen me talk about God the most that I've ever talked about God since you followed me. And does Charlie Kirk and his assassination have something to do with that? Yes, it does. But 5 years ago, I got sober. 5 years ago, I found God. I started doing videos on God, and I was basically bullied into not doing them. And that's on me, and I'll own that right now. I recognize that today as a weakness. I recognize that today as an absolute weakness. Because we're told that we're always going to be demonized. We're always going to be chastised. There's a direct attack on Christianity. There has been for a very long time. So why I allowed myself to be silenced to my faith, I'm embarrassed by that to a certain degree, but no more. I highly suggest that if you don't want any content that's going to refer to scripture or refer to Jesus or refer to God every once in a while, I'm not saying every video is going to be Bible verses and every live stream is going to talk about God. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if you don't want that, you might want to unfollow. And that's okay. That's okay, because it's not my job as a Christian to convince you of anything. I had a very dramatic experience happen to me in my life before I went off to treatment. That right there is what caused me to turn to God. And I'm not going to try to sit here and convince you, but I'm also not going to sit here and beg you to follow me. I'm a man of God. I've been a man of God for 5 years. I follow Jesus's teachings. And I got a text message from a friend of mine. Let me see if I can find it here. He texted me this morning as Charlie Kirk service was going on. Just got out of church. First time in 38 years I've been in one other than funerals and weddings. He said, I love that. I said, I love that, brother. I've been back with God for 5 years, is what I told him. And he sent me a picture of him and his daughter leaving church. He said, and I told him, it's the best thing I've ever done. And I love that, bro, saying that him and his daughter went. And he said, it's been one hell of a week spiritually, but I'm glad I'm heading down this path. When they assassinated Charlie Kirk, they didn't only create a bunch of Christians, they created a bunch of conservatives. Conservatism is Christianity. And are conservatives perfect? No, we're not perfect. But the conservative value system is absolutely a lot closer to Christianity and faith and our Lord than liberalism is. See, liberals will always try to cherry pick scripture, just like they cherry pick the words that Charlie Kirk had. They'll always do that, and that's okay. Let them. Put on your armor of God, get into your Bible, get into your faith, get into your beliefs, and don't worry about them. So many people. I got a message from a liberal tonight on Instagram, and they said, and I checked out their profile, they're not lying, because I get this sometimes too, and I always wonder, I don't know, maybe they're lying, because they'll say, I used to be a conservative and now I'm a liberal. I doubt that ever happens, but this person said, I was a liberal up until the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And once I seen how the left was acting, I had no choice but to move to conservatism. This person had on their profile, stay the fuck home badges during COVID, free Palestine. They had a bunch of other liberal narrative stuff, masks, promoting masks, and all this other stuff, right? It's totally liberal, and that's okay. But the person like that converted immediately to Christianity and headed towards conservatism as soon as they saw what their peers and their supposed friends were acting like. Because I truly believe there is good in everybody. But some people are so far gone right now that they can't see the good, and that is what makes them so evil. I used to be that guy. When I was in active addiction, I was an evil motherfucker. I was very evil. I hated people. I didn't like things. I was a hurtful person. And now that I'm sober and I'm in my faith and I'm helping people get sober and I'm helping people through their demons and their battles and their frustrations, which isn't easy, right? You know, I still get frustrated sometimes, but it's a lot easier to manage. It's a lot easier to manage. Cassandra says, since following you, it's like a beacon of hope, has lightened the dark days for me. Ottawa here, and it's been emotionally and mentally exhausting for a while now. I'm glad I found you. Well, thanks, Cassandra. I really appreciate that. And the thing is we're not alone in our fight. And I want you guys to really understand one thing. If you're embarrassed by your faith like I was, obviously, because I allowed people to silence me by convincing me that I shouldn't talk about it, just don't go down that road. Because now I'm sitting here thinking, for the past 4.5 years, if I kept talking about my faith, how many people could have I helped? But because I chose not to talk about my faith, how many people weren't saved or didn't get help? So yes, like I said earlier, guys, I'm not going to sit here and be a preacher because I'm not. That's not what I'm looking to do. But I am looking to have a moral compass and to guide people into a moral compass and to take some sort of moral high ground when it comes down to values and belief systems. And people always say, I get this a lot too, unify. We got to unify. We have to unify. We're stronger together. I'm sorry. As a man of God, as a child of God, I can never side with people who are ripping the parts off of other people and convincing everybody that that's right. And that's not demonic or satanic or evil. So no, it doesn't mean that I don't think you should eat. It just means I don't think you should eat at my table right now. Right? And that's how I look at it. You know, I'm very humbled by Erica Kirk's speech today. Like I said, there was a lot of good speakers. There was a lot of good things to be said. It was a great, great honor to Charlie Kirk. I said at the beginning of that live stream that I really wish I never had to do this live stream. I can't fathom it. I can't even fathom what she's going through, his parents are going through, his sister's going through. Like how hard, like this wasn't a traffic accident. This wasn't a heart attack. This wasn't an illness. A man got on a roof, shot a bullet through his neck, and now he's dead. And the reason he did it was he didn't like his opinions. So I know you guys are angry out there. I know you guys are upset out there. And it's not like we're not in a spiritual war. It's not like we're not going to have a little bit of anger, but it's understand your enemy. Having little Twitter arguments and arguments in the comment section is not a win. Invite them on your platform. Invite them to have a conversation. Sit down at the table with them. See if they'll do it. And I'll tell you from personal experience, ladies and gentlemen, from personal experience, these people will not sit at the table with you because they know they're wrong. Because when you have that armor of God that I discussed, or that moral superiority, because that's what it is, because they're immoral to you, when you have that, they can't sit at a table with you. They're incapable of sitting at a table with you. And they won't. Because what they need is their Twitter wins, their Instagram wins, their Facebook wins, their TikTok wins. That's what they want. They want a reaction. They want to garner a reaction because they're such hurtful people, and they hurt so bad that they just want you to feel a little bit of that pain. But when you're walking the path that I'm walking today, there's no pain. I wake up every single morning and I'm like, you know what? It's going to be a tough day. I'm probably going to open my phone up. That's a guarantee. I'm going to open my phone up. There's going to be 1 to 3 death threats. That's for sure out of the gate. Someone's going to say they effed my sister. Somebody's going to say they're going to go after one of my kids. And somebody's going to say my wife's cheating on me. And then that's just before I had my first cup of coffee. And then I got to see what's going on in the world and how can I combat evil today? And I wake up every single day and I do it. Because I know these people that are spewing that hate, that are putting this in my phone, are so hurt. They're so upset with their own lives. And they're just trying to bring me down to their level and beat me with experience. And I don't let them. Because when you know what you are doing is right, factual, honest, has integrity, you will push forward. You will path forward, and you will blaze a trail for the people behind you, for the youth. Charlie Kirk brought more youth to God when he passed, when he was assassinated. Sorry, I caught myself. Charlie Kirk brought more people to conservatism. You have movements in Canada starting. You have movements in Europe starting. Many people have asked me, you got to head up Turning Point, Alberta. I was doing Turning Point, Alberta before Turning Point was even a mention in Canada. I don't need to call it Turning Point anything. We're just going to stay the course. We're going to continue doing what we're doing. We don't have to call it turning point. There's many creators like myself, men and women out there, great creators, and you guys already follow them that have already been doing this. So we just keep doing it. Charlie Kirk will live in all of us. Will live in you, will live in me. We will pass down his teachings. We will ensure that the Kirk family is taken care of. There's many people watching out for them. Charlie's watching all of us. Charlie knows he's loved. Charlie probably doesn't even have any idea until what he saw today, how much of an impact that he made on all of us. And that's huge. That's huge. We'll read one more Bible verse, ladies and gentlemen. Psalm 144:1. Blessed be the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle. This is a spiritual war. I don't know what the battlefield looks like right now. I have an idea. I know their tactics. Their tactics are to manipulate the conversation. Their tactics are to make you feel bad. They're narcissists, right? So they're going to blame at you for everything. They're going to reverse psychology you. They're going to do all this stuff. Those are the tactics. I just don't know what the battlefield looks like yet. But all I know is if I put on the armor of God and I read my Bible and I get in my faith and I get grounded to who I am as a man, a husband, a father, a child of God, I get grounded to that. I'm not scared. You know, I got a couple messages right after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Hey man, I'm not trying to scare you or anything, but you need to watch your back. Like, people might get ideas. Do it. I'm a man of God. Where I'm going, if something happens to me, I'll be okay. But we're not going to shut up. We're not going to be quiet. As long as they're out there destroying the nuclear family, as long as they're out there trying to convince children to be something they're not, as long as they're out there hurting our kids, as long as they're out there giving away our sovereignty, as long as they're out there pushing for more evil, as long as they're out there manipulating the conversation and being narcissistic and trying to destroy humanity, I'm going to have a voice and I'm going to be louder than them. And I'm going to do what I feel is right for myself and for my family. And we got Wheel Burner Express. Are you truly doing what's right? I'm doing what's right for me, Wheel Burner Express. I'm doing what's right for me. You don't get to dictate what's right for me. I have God-given rights. Before any government gave me rights, I have God-given rights. So I'm doing what's right for me. And if you feel that that's not right for you, that's completely okay. Right? Facts are facts and can't be disputed, but some of what you say is your own feelings and opinion. Okay, so here's a perfect one. Wheel Burner Express. You said, I'm not dictating what's right for you. Well, then here's a fact. There's men and women. Fact. There's boys and girls. Fact. You can't rip parts off of one and call it something else. Fact. That's fact. That's not an opinion. That is absolute fact. So if you don't like my content or how I say it, that's fine. But if you do think that you can rip parts off of somebody and call them something different, or they become something different, you're evil, is what I'm saying. In my brain, in my belief, in who I am as a person, you are absolutely evil. And I'm going to call that out. With my armor of God, when I wake up in the morning, I will be there calling that evil out. If that hurts you, that's okay. That's okay. I will be completely fine the next day when I do it again to somebody else. And the day after that, when I do it to somebody else. And the day after that, when I do it to somebody else. Because guess what? You don't dictate what's right in my world. Because when I'm dealing with facts, so now I'm not open-minded. So if you have a closed mind, are you actually helping society or just putting out your belief and your belief only? No, my belief is this. I have Christian values and beliefs, okay? Canada was founded on Christian values and beliefs. North America actually was founded on Christian values and beliefs. So you're trying to change my belief system. With what factual evidence? What I've seen up till now is you can't rip a penis off of a man and him get pregnant and have a child. One of the most beautiful things that can ever happen in this world is a woman giving birth to a child. One of the most beautiful things. And you can't do that. So Wheelburner Express, my email is bertaprouddad@gmail.com. And I'm inviting you to a public open debate right now. We're going to set this up. You're going to email me if you accept. We're going to set up a time. It's going to be on a platform like this. You'll come in and you and I will debate beliefs back and forth. Does that work for you? And you can convince me how you're not evil. And you probably were in here late where I told everybody in here, all 238 of you. There's only 2 of you on YouTube. That's where you're joining us right now, Wheelburner Express. But there's 192 on X and 44 on Facebook. You get to come in and explain to me how your side is any better and how you have the moral compass and the moral high ground. And Charlie Kirk loved open debate with opposing views, and this is my olive branch to you. Right? But as I was telling all of you folks, this is what they do. They manipulate the conversation. So like what he said here, right? You have every right to believe anything you want, and I would never encroach on it or tell you you are wrong. Here's the manipulation, right? He's manipulating, right? He basically did tell me I was wrong already by not being very open-minded, right? And never encroaching and tell you are wrong. But with a closed mind, you were telling me that unless I believe the way you do, I am evil. No, that's not what I was saying. If you believe in these things, you are evil. If you are going against evil, if you're going against God, you are evil. Good versus evil. And I don't even know what your platform is, Wheelburner Express, but you know exactly who I am. So we'll be doing it on this platform. Okay? I don't know who you are. So I'm going to take that as a no. There's no way for me to have you on your platform and my platform on the same time. This is what I do. It's up to you. You can either come on the show or you don't come on the show. I'm good with whatever it is. Let's look you up. Wheelburner Express. Let's look up your platform. Let's take a look at it. Wheelburner Express. 12.7 thousand subscribers on YouTube. Let's see what you're all about, buddy.
Talking the same kind of language as I am here. So how do you feel about that? You know, my opinion is, come on in and fuck around and find out and see. I tell you right now, and I've said it openly on here, and I don't give a fuck who's listening. If you break into my house, I'm going to defend it. You have to draw a line somewhere for your family's personal safety. And
I agree with that.
Is the front door.
I agree with that.
If the door is locked and you come through the door, you get what you fucking deserve because you're encroaching on my family. I don't give a fuck about the money. I I don't give a fuck about a car. I can replace a car. I can replace fucking money. I can replace a fucking couch, whatever the fuck you're stealing. I don't care about that. But once you cross that line, you're encroaching on my family's.
I agree with that. So yeah, I agree with that for sure. Watch Universal Ostrich Farm. I stand behind you. I still got to do a video on Universal Ostrich Farm. Wheel burner loses it. You're kind of like a character is what it is what I'm seeing. Welcome to Road Wheel Burner Express. Here you'll find a wide variety of trucking and truck driving related topics, along with other topics happening in the world around. Brian is a Canadian long-haul truck driver with over 3 decades of experience and over 20 years in owner-operator. Brian is a mixed group of friends here to help everyone from new driver. Well, it doesn't look like you have much of a truck driving group. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, and that goes out to anybody who wants to have a dialogue and discussion on any platform, right? I'm open to dialogue and discussion. I'm open to have a discussion with you. It's going to happen here, though. That's where it's going to happen. And in regardless, like the worst, how do I say this? The worst deflection is when people, I had it just happen to me today with a guy. He said, "Oh, I'm not going to go on your platform." What do you mean you're not going to go on my platform? I'm the one with the platform. Like, why wouldn't you, if you're so confident that you're going to school and own me, wouldn't you want to school and own me in front of my following? Isn't that the whole point? Because they try to lie to my following every day. They try to spread rumors about me to my following, to discredit me, to bash my integrity, to maim, shame, defame me. They do that, but they don't want to come onto my platform and own me to make me look bad. Like, I've never gotten that, right? It's always a deflection and a manipulation of, I will say all this shit about you in the comments, but I don't want to go on your platform, bro. Well, why? Why? This is the place to do it. When everybody is going to see it, this is the place to do it, right here. And I am fully open to debate. And I know I'm not going to know everything, right? I know I'm not going to know everything at all. I don't know what this link is that you put in here. I have no clue what that is, so I'm deleting that comment. I don't allow links to be put into my chats. I just don't, because they could be viruses, and then you just fucked people over. So don't put links to my chats, please. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you. I appreciate you guys. It was a very humbling experience day. I'm sure I'm going to get attacked on not being a very good Christian and all that other stuff, but you got to remember one thing. There's not one perfect person on this planet. There's not one perfect individual on this planet. All we can do is try to be a better image today than we were yesterday. Right? And that's what I'm trying to do, is be better today than I was yesterday. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please do me a favor when you're off here. Please go check out my website. We are a supporter sponsored channel. I don't have any sponsors. All the equipment's paid for by the sale of the merch. So we appreciate you guys. Stay tuned for the new podcast studio that is coming out. I can't wait for it. It's going to be great. And yeah, I appreciate each and every one of you. So go to BertaProudDad.com and we'll chat soon.